here tonight for our Meet the Candidates night. The League's goal is very simple. We want everyone to vote, to trust that their vote counts, and to be informed when they head to the polls. We hold these candidates events as a service to both voters and candidates. For voters, it's a chance to see and hear directly from the people running for office, to form your own first-hand impression. For candidates, it's an opportunity to share their views with an audience of varied political backgrounds. The candidates have not seen these questions in advance except for the first one, so you will be hearing their real, unscripted responses, and it's a great way to see how they think on their feet. With us this evening are candidates for City Council: Frank Torain, Ward 2, Colby Garza, Ward 2, Nancy Nichols is not here from Ward 4, Michael Civiletto, her opponent, is here from Ward 4. Candidates for Wards 1 and 3 are running unopposed, but we thought you'd still like to hear from them about the issues facing Dunkirk. We have Natalie Luczkowiak and Nick Weiser. We were expecting Gary Frederickson, but he's not here at the moment, so maybe he'll pop in. The League of Women Voters is a trusted, nonpartisan organization, and we work year-round to encourage civic participation through voter registration drives, our Take Me to Vote programs in school, and efforts to make registering and voting easier for everyone. So as you listen tonight, think about the issues that matter to you most. What do you want to learn from each candidate? Notice how they answer. Are they specific? Are they sincere? Are they knowledgeable about the issue? And are the questions relevant to your concerns? But after the forum, talk about it with your friends, your neighbors, your family. Did anything surprise you? Did you learn something new? But most importantly, remember to vote. It's the best way to make your voice heard and help shape the issues that confront all of us. Candidates will have 1 minute to give a brief presentation discussing their qualifications. After the opening statements, candidates will respond to questions from members of the audience and those submitted earlier. Each reply will be limited to 30 seconds. If a question is addressed to a specific candidate, others will be welcome to add comments or replies of their own. Candidates will also be able to rebut or challenge one another, one rebuttal each for 30 seconds. And there will be 1 minute for closing statements. So let's get started. Here is the question that you will answer. How would you describe your qualifications and experience that make you well suited to serve as councilperson in a 1 minute opening statement? And we'll begin with Mr. Garza.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, my name is Colby Garza, so I'm in building and developing. I did it primarily in Texas, now doing it in Cheektowaga area. With that, you have to deal with planning and zoning, city council, local officials, bringing things to town. Also, I've been on from church board to youth advisory groups, and that's from Texas to New York, and I'm heavily into the community as well.
Thank you. We'll continue with Mr. Torain.
I arrived in the city of Dunkirk in 1983 on an assignment as a United States Army recruiter. I began service to the community beyond my military duties upon being appointed to the Crime Prevention Committee by Mayor Greg Krause. I've also served as a member of the United Way Allocations Committee, the City of Dunkirk Planning Board, the Chautauqua County Youth Bureau, the Dunkirk Housing Authority Board of Commissioners, which I'm the current chairperson, pastor for 27 years, the New York State Economic Impact Panel, JROTC instructor at Dunkirk High School for 25 years. I'm currently a NICET union member, 20-year Army veteran, and I'm currently My Brother's Keeper Fellows Program mentor. I have experience at leading, guiding, and teaching and influencing people to complete tasks as a team to standards expected. I'm a people person who believe in the potential that others bring to the table. I have experience analyzing and approving budgets, grant and capital project proposals. I'm a candidate for the Dunkirk City Council because I still believe in the potential of the citizens of the city and can provide responsible, reliable, and informative leadership as a representative for the Second Ward.
Thank you. We'll continue with Mr. Weiser.
Thank you, and thanks to the League of Women Voters for hosting this evening's event. My name is Nick Weiser, and I'm honored to serve as Dunkirk's Councilman at Large and to be seeking another term in that role. I bring a combination of professional experience, community leadership, and a strong commitment to public service that I believe make me well qualified to continue representing our city. In my first term, I've worked collaboratively with the mayor, council, and department heads to navigate incredibly difficult fiscal realities while keeping our long-term sustainability in view. My background as a college professor and program director, as well as being involved in a number of different civic organizations, have strengthened my skills in communication, strategic planning, and problem solving, all essential qualities for effective local government. I feel I see the big picture, but I'm also not afraid to make tough decisions that are necessary to move Dunkirk forward responsibly. I'm deeply committed to ensuring that our city emerges from this challenging period stronger, more stable, and better positioned for the future.
Thank you very much. Mr. Civiletto.
I'm Mike Civiletto, and first thing I want to do is thank the League of Women Voters for holding this forum. I was born in Dunkirk, son of George and Rose Civiletto. Went to some local universities, JCC and UB, and then moved down south and went to University of Buffalo, Winthrop University, where I got my master's degree in teaching, and it was in social studies. So I have a huge interest in the city history, and I've been in a lot of, since I've come back, I've been involved in lots of non-for-profits, 5 actually, in the past and the present. And as a past councilman for one term, I was head of public safety and have a great knowledge of what it takes to be a good councilman and to oversee the budgets. That's our number one priority.
Thank you very much. Ms. Luczkowiak.
Yes, I used to be a paid and volunteer activist and was a community health advocate through Community Service Society. And I had a PowerPoint, would go around with my PowerPoint discussing the Affordable Care Act. And once it passed, I went to Albany and did the trips creating the New York State Health Exchange. That's what brought me here. Although the projects I have worked on are not as showy and numerous as during my first term, please know the city of Dunkirk is always on the forefront of my mind. I'm trying hard to bring numerous projects to fruition. I'll continue to have conversations with every resident and listen to create a vision together. And I look forward to, I'm 100% positive we'll come through our current chaos and issues towards a newer and economically progressive future.
Thank you. We will now open our meeting to a question and answer format, and we hope their presentations have maybe brought some questions to your mind. The questions will be screened to avoid duplication and anything inappropriate. The order of answering questions will alternate, and each candidate will have 30 seconds to respond to each question. For those in the audience, if you wish to ask a question, please raise your hand and someone will give you a card. Rebuttals, again, will be limited strictly to 30 seconds. Our next question is, what is your position on eliminating the treasurer's office? We'll begin with Mr. Torain.
Well, we have that, it's a referendum that's gonna be put up for vote. So I think the taxpayers will get an opportunity to make that decision. The decision to put it up for a referendum, it was a difficult decision personally, but a decision that had to be made because we have to do something to make changes in the city of Dunkirk. And I think, one of the things is making sure that we have, someone who's highly qualified to run a $20 million budget. With the way everything has been outlined, the physical affairs person in charge of physical affairs would be charged with doing a lot of the stuff that the treasurer was doing. But I'm pretty sure that we can get this figured out and do it in a way that will be beneficial for Dunkirk.
Thank you. Just 30 seconds for response. Mr. Weiser.
Thank you. I believe one of the chief concerns for the city of Dunkirk is fiscal stewardship. And I believe we have to have a live structure for city government, one that ensures we're going to have strong fiscal stewardship, and that also ensures that we don't have redundancies across departments, and that we're able to maintain a clear picture of what we need and want in the city financially. So I'm not so sure that the treasurer's office is, as it currently exists, is the model for that. But certainly it's going to go to the community to vote.
Thank you. Mr. Civiletto.
Dunkirk needs to be a modern municipality, and as of right now in New York State, there's only, I believe we're one of 2 municipalities in the entire state that has an elected treasurer. Treasurer needs to be someone who is, who has the competency and the qualifications. So through charter changes, which is something that I'm really involved in wanting to be involved with, I'd like to not only will the public be able to vote on it, but charter changes in other areas as well to make us a modern municipality.
Thank you. Ms. Luczkowiak.
Yes, I do believe that the treasurer department itself needs to be progressive in its actions and modernized and therefore transparent. I mean, Mark does give me information every time I ask for it, and he does show me things, but I think that, if it was, everything was, in an updated system, that it would.
What does that mean?
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Before the stop. Yeah.
Then you get this.
Okay, 30 seconds is fine, and then stop, okay, because I don't know what that was. Okay, sorry. Can you hear her from the back? Okay, good. Mr. Garza.
I think eliminating the treasurer will not change the lack of leadership. I think that there is some fiscal efficiency that needs to be done, but essentially we need to know where the money's going and where it's being spent, and not just released on Facebook, but essentially have a public meeting to where everyone can see where the money is spent before we do eliminate such a position.
Thank you very much. Our next question.
Do we have rebuttals?
Pardon me?
Do we have rebuttals?
Yes, you can.
I like to offer a little.
You got it.
The public will get an opportunity to see it because the council is bound by the current city charter to have a public forum by November 15th. And so the public will have an opportunity to come in and have an opportunity to ask questions. The mayor has to be present, the council is present, they have an opportunity to ask questions. So it's not something that's not transparent. It is and I'm not saying that because I'm trying to support, overall support what the mayor's offered. I'm just saying it's an opportunity for the public to come in and see the budget.
Thank you. Mr. Civiletto, you want to rebut?
Yeah, the question that it's not transparent, the budget is presented in a public forum. All citizens are allowed to go to any of the finance committee meetings and see the budget as it's presented to the council. So, not really sure, what else can be done for transparency as far as the budget goes.
Thank you. I guess, welcome, Mr. Frederickson.
Thank you.
Glad you could be here. Our next question. This one is, do you think there is any value in retaining the elected treasurer's position, or are you confident that the treasurer's duties can be more efficiently be fulfilled by combining them with other employees' financial responsibilities? We'll start with Mr. Weiser.
Again, I think there are other municipalities we can look at across the state, across the country. Municipalities that use different types of structures, whether those are comptroller structures or any number of other structures. Obviously, as council, we want to make an informed decision about the direction that we're taking with respect to our fiscal affairs in the city. We want to ensure that that department, however it's drawn up, is, like I mentioned earlier, live and efficient. And I do believe that the job can be done. You'll see that there are some clerk treasurer positions in other municipalities across the state. So there are other ways to do this.
Thank you. Mr. Civiletto?
Yeah, definitely looking at best practices throughout the state to see who has some of the practices that would best fit Dunkirk. I'd also like to be on a charter committee that changes the charter to be able to address things like this, so we can do it in a timely manner instead of having to go to referendums and going to into large discussions about it when you have a good committee that's talking about these things.
Thank you. Ms. Luczkowiak?
I think it should be a sole position, but modernized and efficient with a software program that communicates throughout all of City Hall.
Mr. Garza?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I have to look for it. Hang on. I already filed it. It was about,
Yeah, I just didn't know, because we had a treasurer question before that, so.
hang on. You did. Do you think there is any value in retaining the elected treasurer's position, or are you confident that the treasurer's duties can be more efficiently be fulfilled by combining them with other employees' financial responsibilities?
I think currently, if we do keep the current treasurer, then we can see more of what's going on behind the scenes. If we try to add or mix in someone else, I think it would get even more murky and even more dirty versus seeing what's actually happened to date. And I've noticed a lot of people that are saying that they've been on boards and charters and all this, and I think that at the end of the day, if you're not a professional, actually.
That's it, okay. I was waiting for the period, it just kind of stopped in the middle. Mr. Torain?
I believe that we did adopt brought in a modern software program to handle our finances. And in order to run that program, you need to be qualified. And having an accountant, that's a huge responsibility. You need someone who's able to operate that system, and somebody who's able to keep track of the numbers in a current and modern ways. And so by eliminating that position,
I'm just a messenger.
Oh, you can finish your sentence.
Okay.
I mean, really, you can, as long as you don't add another one.
All right.
All right,
Can I finish?
finish
Okay.
the sentence.
That sentence, by eliminating that position, you're bringing, an opportunity to bring in somebody who's professional enough to be able to handle the finances of the city.
Thank
which
you.
would be beneficial.
Mr. Frederickson?
Yes, I think it should be abolished. I think we should do away with treasurer. I think it should be combined with one office, one financial affairs office. If we can find a way to blend the people that would be from different offices that would be involved in it, if we can get them to all work on the same page, I think it would work that way. But I think the treasurer is outdated. I think we need to find it. We need to move it.
Thank you very much. I think we're ready for our next question. Should Dunkirk and Fredonia share a police station and chief of police? And we will begin with Mr. Frederickson.
I think we should take a serious look at combining services, merging police and fire. I've spoken with some people actually in Fredonia on their village board, and they're talking about trying to get a study done, possibly with the county financing it, if we could get the county to do that, if PJ Wendell would go along with that. I don't see any, we're a street sign between Dunkirk and Fredonia on the sides. I just don't see why we need to have two separate police, two separate fire. If,
You have to pay attention to
okay,
that,
if we're that close together, I think it can be done.
Thank you. Mr. Garza.
It seems that consolidation is the way of the future. That's what towns and cities are going to, but it's not that simple. If we have effective leadership and a way to reduce costs and improve efficiency without hurting the citizens of that city, I believe that it could be a strong tool.
Thank you. Mr. Torain.
I'm willing to take a look at it. I mean, I'm not originally from Dunkirk, and I always wondered why two municipalities that are separated by a line can't get along with each other and share services. It makes good sense to me, and I'm certainly willing, should I be elected, to take a good look at sheriff services, whether it be fire, police, or even sharing our water, because it'd be beneficial for both communities. But we have to sit down at the table and talk to each other, and we have to sit down at the table and make sure that it makes good sense, and conduct the studies that are necessary to make sure that we're doing what's right for both municipalities.
Thank you. Mr. Weiser.
I'm always looking for opportunities to create synergies between communities. I think it breeds efficiency. It's something the state will support in terms of those types of studies. And I think the ultimate, sort of the bottom line here is that we need to ensure that whatever those services are, that they're being provided at the highest possible level across both communities or any communities that are involved in a merger like that, making sure that we can provide them consistently to every community member.
Thank you. Mr. Civiletto.
I was reading a book about Dunkirk history a little while ago, and it said, it was from 1888, and it said, as Dunkirk goes, Fredonia goes. And it's amazing that we're still talking about this over 100 years later. We actually had a chance to have a shared police department, and our former administration was very, very in favor of it, but Fredonia's wasn't. I believe now's the time with Fredonia having an administration that's in charge and in favor of that we should start looking at.
Thank you. Ms. Luczkowiak.
Yes, first I would like to say the overtime for fire and police is our biggest expense. And I think let's first try the obvious. Let's change the schedules, to look into changing. I know the chief had mentioned at the last personnel department, he said it asked his council if we had any ideas for schedules. I sent him a few. We're gonna meet with him. I know the mayor has talked a bit. And also we need to be full capacity for police in order they can not have overtime. So I'd like to try the obvious first.
Thank you. Our next question. What other charter changes are you in favor of and why? And we'll start with Mr. Civiletto.
The biggest charter change would of course be the treasurer, because that actually is something that has to be, but now it has to be voted on. One of the largest charter changes that I'd like to see is, I really don't know.
You might get another opportunity
Yeah, thank you.
at the end if it's important to you. Ms. Luczkowiak.
Yes, almost every council meeting we have and a resolution, there seems to be a needed charter change. And so it's great to go over it and modernize it and update it, but then afterwards, I think we should just continually change as needed in CFET.
Mr. Frederickson.
Okay, honestly, I haven't really studied the charter that well yet. That would be something that I would have to do, between now and election day. But I agree with Mrs. Kobiak. I believe we should change it as we go along. It shouldn't be a bunch of changes at one time. Just if we find something that needs to be changed or fine tuned, then we should do it.
Thank you. Mr. Garza.
I honestly do not have an answer for that, to be completely honest. I'm new at this, and if I were to say something, I would be lying to you. So.
Mr. Torain.
First thing I did when I decided to run was make a copy of the city charter, and I put it in this binder. I got it right here with me. I'm willing to study it, take a look and see, you know, the needs, conduct a study, analyze it, take a look at different places where, and then sit down at the table with our fellow councilmen and come up with solutions, come up with ideas or ways that, if it's good, let's keep it. If it's not, let's see what we can do to fix it. Because there are some things that we need to fix, and so that made me one.
Thank you. Mr. Weiser.
I believe the last meaningful major charter reform happened more than 30 years ago in the city. I think there are a lot of opportunities to streamline things and to modernize things. If we look at, as Mr. Civiletto mentioned earlier, the treasurer's position, we are among the less than 1% of municipalities in the state of New York with an elected treasurer position. There are a lot of things that we can look at in terms of efficiency and just relevance relative to the things that have changed in the last 30 plus years. I think there are a lot of opportunities to tweak minor things, maybe not so much massive overhauls, but a lot of opportunities to streamline things and clean up a lot of the language in the charter.
Thank you.
Can I have a rebuttal?
Sure.
And I want to have this stated as well, just because I don't know what a charter is currently, that doesn't mean tonight I'm not going to look that up and actually do my research. So, I will be prepared. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I have a rebuttal to stop my?
Sure.
Okay.
You get your 30 seconds that you weren't prepared for.
Flow of administration, modernizing looking at best practices from other charters at other municipalities. And really, when this charter was built, there was no internet, there was no credit card, there were no just basic things that we use every day that if we have questions about and we go to the charter, we can't find answers to. And if you look at some of the different territories that there's written in the charter too, it still mentions Montgomery wards at the plaza and different places.
You
So
had it
it's, yeah.
in 30 seconds.
All right.
By the way, that's not a rebuttal. Just
No,
so
you're
you
right.
know. Look it up. Next question. What would you like to see happen at the NRG site? We'll begin with Ms. Luczkowiak.
Well, I would like to see it completely demolished by NRG. I know they have done that in California with an NRG site and took on the cost for that, and I personally, that's what I would like to see, and that would give us clean canvas after, of course, we've had a lot of surveys of the grounds and that, of how safe they are and what we can do to make them safer.
Thank you. Mr. Frederickson.
I agree with you. I would like to see it abolished. I think it's valuable lakefront property that there has to be something better to do than an empty factory sitting on there. I like the idea that's been talked about the nuclear, using it for that. The problem we have with that is it takes probably at least 5 years or longer before that would be able to happen. So in the meantime, we're stuck with the status quo of having an empty factory on the lake.
That's it.
Okay.
Mr. Garza.
There's two things. We can either do adaptive reuse, turn to something where everyone has their cake and eat it too, or we could turn to nuclear energy, which is gonna need to be, it's gonna have to happen with data and AI centers that are coming through and using a tub of water and 16 LED light bulbs for an hour for one ChatGPT prompt. There's gonna have to be nuclear in the nation. And then also if we abolish it and tear it all down, we have prime lakefront real estate right now that we can't even get anyone to develop on. So.
Thank you. Mr. Torain.
Well, first of all, we can talk about adaptive use, we can talk about demolishing it, and the biggest thing is, who's gonna pay? I mean, once you demolish it, is there gonna be a cleanup? Because we don't know, and cleanups are expensive. We already had experience with that. And, is it a brownfields? So before we can go forward and talk about any of that stuff, we have to consider that. And then if you talk about a nuclear power plant, you also have to have a public hearing and have the people that live in the community determine whether or not they even want it in their community.
Thank you. Mr. Civiletto.
Yeah, plan's the most important thing. And finding a developer that's actually gonna come in here and do what they say that they're gonna do. We have a history of having things built and not being used, or being promised and not being gone through with. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing too. It was built in 1950. We're talking about a 75-year-old building. So maybe we can take down half of it. The other half can be used for
Thank
whatever,
you.
and the other half can be used for
Thank
the.
you. Thanks a lot. All right. Next question. If you had access to $5 million, what single area would you prioritize? And we will begin with Mr. Frederickson. Ready for a break?
I would focus on trying to bring in small and mid-sized businesses into Dunkirk. I think we're lacking them. I think if we had them, it does a couple things. It brings up our income level, it gives people jobs, and I think it would also clean up what I think is one of our biggest issues, which is the housing situation here and the conditions of the houses here.
Thank you. Mr. Garza.
If I were to have $5 million, I would heavily put it all on the lakefront and bring in an economy. Economy brings jobs, economy brings businesses, economy brings developers. And so that's why I would put it in at the beginning and then let that roll into infill lots and the brownfield sites.
Thank you. Mr. Torain.
Well, first of all, $5 million, you'd be surprised how far it'll go and that you won't get very far.
Okay, 10 million.
Well, let's put it this way, if we had that kind of money, the first thing I would look at is, let's get our physical affairs in order. Let's do that first. Then once we get that in order, then we can take a look at bringing in new businesses. Because if we're not sound fiscally, it doesn't matter what we bring in, we still gotta pay our bills. Let's pay the bills first. Then once we pay the bills, I know that's what we do in our house, we pay our bills first. Then we go from there.
Thank you. Mr. Weiser.
I agree with Mr. Torain. We have to make sure that things are whole in our city's budget first and foremost, followed by more intentional development of the waterfront and Central Avenue. I believe we have an incredible asset in Lake Erie that feels to me vastly underutilized. So that's where I vote.
Thank you. Mr. Civiletto.
Senior housing, we don't have any. And our senior housing, and the housing that we have is 2 stories, and seniors can't deal with 2 stories. If we have seniors that are willing to stay here, and seniors that have a place to live, maybe they're not leaving, and also we'll get seniors to come in, and guess who has some money? Seniors. They'll spend money here, and they can be that can be our impetus for economic revolution.
Thank you. Ms. Luczkowiak.
We've been granted that wish with the Dunkirk Revitalizing Initiative, $10 million. It's just that things take time. As chair of the Economic Development Committee, and as Vince can tell you, there is so much we have going on with no cost to the taxpayers. It just takes time. And hope you will attend the meetings to find it out.
Thank you.
Can I rebuttal?
It's a rebuttal, yes,
So not a statement.
yes.
I'm new to this. I thought that meant I, not the city of Dunkirk. So whenever I said I had $5 million, that's what I would do.
Oh,
Because
okay,
you said if you had $5 million.
right, I did.
Yeah.
There you go.
For the record.
Yeah, for the record. Well done. A rebuttal to that? Certainly.
Regardless, you, I'm gonna word a question. Do the same thing. The bottom line is, city needs it. If I had $5 million, I probably had more money than, you give me $10 million, I can give the city $5 million to help take care of its fiscal affairs. I mean, that's what I would do with it.
Okay. We're gonna move on to the next question since I misspoke on that one. What specific policies would you implement to encourage and attract new small businesses to Dunkirk? Mr. Garza.
Say that question one more time.
Yes. What specific policies would you implement to encourage and attract new small businesses to Dunkirk?
Either they're purchasing real estate that's downtown, infill lots, lake. I would try to do some kind of tax abatements, incentives on building permits, anything that's gonna help them with a cost factor of actually bringing their business here. And then some sort of get the community 100% behind the business to amplify not only their social presence, their media presence, Dunkirk shout out, city council shout out. Anyone in the city really needs to back them.
Thank you. Mr. Torain.
Oh, we currently doing that. I mean, I've been serving on the city planning board for years. And, we're currently, you know, we're always looking for new businesses to come in and making concessions for them to come in and set up shop here. And not make it too hard for them. One thing we also do is, we don't want people coming in, setting up business that, and try to take advantage of the city. We want to benefit the citizens of the city. And I think we're currently doing that. Can we do more? Sure.
Thank
Let's hold
you.
on and wait.
Mr. Weiser.
I'd also be looking for opportunities to subsidize these new businesses, get them on their feet quickly, and set them up for maximal success. I'd be looking at setting up a small business, perhaps a small business loan program, or something that was subsidized by the city. I'd also be looking to the state for further aid in terms of those types of subsidies. And again, just promoting visibility for these new businesses, ensuring that we place them into properties that are going to be high visibility, high traffic areas.
Thank you. Mr. Civiletto.
I know the question is about small businesses, but right now, we have a large business that is putting almost $500 million into Dunkirk and its wells. So that will encourage other businesses to, if that's an anchor, that will encourage other small businesses because you're gonna have more people making more money coming in here and living and using small businesses. But yes, the assessment, we're looking at assessment changes, looking at pilots for
Thank you.
for taxes.
Thank you. Ms. Luczkowiak.
Well, we need to advertise. We have a working class employee city and a great summer with tourists. We do have a small business loan program through CDBG I'd like to keep. We have a lot of already wonderful initiatives to get them there. And the bigger businesses will just naturally, you know, attract the smaller ones such as restaurants needed, etc.
I don't hear you at the end for some reason. Your voice fades away.
Oh, thank you for letting me know.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Frederickson.
Okay, I think first we should set up some type of a small business committee, to guide the small businesses in, somebody that's just coming into the area. I think we need to acquaint them with the layout of the city, help them get their footing on where they want to set up their business. And we need to make sure that we have the workforce here that can staff their business, that can help them to grow.
Thank you.
Can I do a rebuttal?
Rebuttal, yes.
And just, we do have a lot of those different things offered through the economic development department, so, but yeah, anything more that we could do to help would be great. But we do have some of those services offered.
Okay, thank you. What is council's proposal for saving residents tax money? What services are looking to be cut, and how do you plan to implement the cuts? Mr. Torain.
I've taken a look at the city budget and, but that's something that, I've had to go in and further analyze in order to know where those cuts could be coming from. Because right now, we're in a fiscal, crisis. I think we're moving along, but the bottom line is I wanna take a look at it. Take a look at, where some of those, where cuts can be made, if so. And see what we can do to improve our current situation before, really giving an all-out answer to that question.
Thank you. Mr. Weiser.
We're already operating an austerity budget in the city of Dunkirk, meaning we've largely cut what we can at this point. There may be a few places to trim further, but what I'm most focused on is new revenue generation. And I'm in favor of very carefully examining the declining block rate for water and wastewater that's being issued to industrial and commercial users of those utilities. I think there's upwards of $1.5 million, $2 million to be generated in terms of new revenue by way of that.
Mr. Civiletto.
It's unfortunate that we have to look at cuts, because in all reality, inflation is in the United States and has been at 3 to 5% for 25, 30, 50 years. So by increasing the tax 2 to 3% every year, 4%, unfortunately that's one way for tax revenue, or for revenue, but that can't be the only one. We definitely have to look at shared services as another way to make some money.
Thank you. Ms. Luczkowiak.
Yes, there's a lot of ways to make cuts, but they have to actually be implemented and completed. The last time we had, the council had sent a letter to all the department heads to look for 10% cuts across the board. It was ignored. There was a lot of, I don't want to get into it, but actually throughout the past 2 years, they have told me they have been seriously doing that, but it's, I think that there's needs to be, never mind, okay, great, I'm fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Frederickson.
I'm not sure there's a huge amount right now, other than what we're already doing. If I'm correct, the biggest expense for the city is union contracts. That gets to be real iffy on trying to get them to give anything back for what they're already getting. I was a member of the union for 33 years. We always looked to get more instead of less. We never wanted to give anything back. So I think that's an issue that we would have to work with.
Thank you. You have to pay attention to these guys. They eat you up.
Think about that.
Mr. Garza.
I think with the initial tax increase, it was more of a reactive than proactive. I think we're so far behind, we had to do something immediately to stop the bleeding, which was an 84% increase. That being said, once I get inside and become more informed on what's going on, I think that we can set up smarter goals, become more efficient, look at the budget, and actually see where we can cut, if we can cut, but we drastically need to bring in business and development.
Thank you. Our next question. How would you handle disagreements with members of an opposing party to ensure progress is made? Mr. Weiser.
Well, I believe I've done this to a large extent during my first term. We came into a very divided council, one that was making the newspaper often for these reasons. And I believe being decent in the way that you do your work. I believe that having conversations and communicating with people and getting people to the table to try and understand their viewpoints is key when it comes to those types of conflicts and resolving really difficult situations. Thank you.
Mr. Civiletto?
Well, as it goes right now, Mr. Garza is the only one that, and if I were to win, Mr. Garza would be the only other one that would be a opposition if he does defeat Mr. Torain. So it would, I think I would be fine with talking to Mr. Garza. I think he's a good guy, but basically you just talk to people. You just talk to them and make sure that you have an open line of communication.
Thank you. Ms. Luczkowiak?
Yes, different viewpoints create change. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. And you win some, you lose some, and then there's compromise. And I think this national climate we're so divided that we forgot how, best to communicate and compromise.
Mr. Frederickson?
We need to listen to each other. We need to be open to the idea that maybe we don't have all the answers on our party, that maybe, in our case, maybe the Republicans have a point of view on something that I hadn't looked at or hadn't thought about that is different than mine, or something I hadn't even considered. We need to be willing to adjust our views to, without giving everything up, but to try to be civil to each other.
Okay, Mr. Garza?
I think this isn't a national level here, we're at local level, so anything that the leaders in the community want to bring to the table, we all need to have the decision on to make this place a better place for the citizens, right? It's all about the city of Dunkirk and not us selfishly putting something in front for our own, carrot. So I think if we all come together, collaborate, that's all we need to do for the community.
Thank you. Mr. Torain?
We do need to remember, we are representatives. We represent the people that we serve. And in representing the people that we serve, we don't just represent our party, we represent everyone. So in doing so, it is our responsibility to be able to talk to people across the aisle and not even consider there being an aisle, because we should be a team working together to make it beneficial for the entire community and not thinking about our own selfish interests. Because when we let self-interest get in the way, that's how we get those divides. And I pride myself in being able to talk to anybody. It doesn't matter what party they're in.
Thank you. Our next question. Many towns have vital main streets, Westfield, Ellicottville, etc. What keeps Dunkirk from being able to do the same? We will begin with Mr. Civiletto.
Oh, that's a big one. I work at one of the few businesses that is actually on Central Avenue in Dunkirk. Our main street's great. Our main street has quite a few. It's just our Central Avenue. We have more than one Central Avenue, so that's one thing. We have a main street and a Central Avenue. So Westfield has their one Route 20, as does Fredonia. So we have double the work to do.
Thank you. Ms. Luczkowiak?
Yes, we, believe it or not, Dunkirk has a business district. And we have a brand new, beautiful clinic there. It is, at one time, someone had a vision, because they put all of the electricity underneath. And I want to realize it more so, because we do have a big walking community. So we got rid of the Siegel situation. We did a new street there. We did the whole street, which I recommended last year. And I would like to enhance that area more so. I'm gonna put new trees.
Thank you. Mr. Frederickson?
Could you repeat the question for me?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. Let's see. It must be here. Many towns have vital main streets, Westfield, Ellicottville. What keeps Dunkirk from being able to do the same?
Well, obviously, the lack of small businesses on Central Ave, I think makes a difference. If you go down there, probably 3/4 maybe of these storefronts are empty. We need, again, back to my other answer, we need to bring in some small businesses that can set up on Central and, try to revitalize it like that, but we need to bring people in, small businesses in, and,
Thank you. Mr. Torain.
When you think about Westfield, and I went to Westfield, my wife and I visited Westfield and did their Westfield days, and we patronized some of the shops and ate dinner there. When you think about those quaint little towns like that, they have taken advantage of some of the older buildings. City of Dunkirk on Central Avenue, we lost a lot of the stuff when the Masonic building burned down. We got that empty lot. See, when we really revitalize that, it's gonna be something different. It's not gonna be the same as Westfield. We're gonna have something totally different, because it'll be brand new.
Thank you. Mr. Weiser.
Along a bit with what Mr. Torain is mentioning, I think those communities have really been able to harness and celebrate their stories and their history a bit more, and they have that kind of potential there. Dunkirk, I've always noticed it's a very depressed community in terms of its outward facing, and I think we have so much potential here. We have so much opportunity in the lake and the waterfront for further intentional development to really draw in, like Mr. Frederickson was mentioning, more small businesses, which are really the heart of the community.
Thank you. Our
Can I
next,
rebuttal too?
oh yeah, rebuttals?
Yeah, my biggest rebuttal is that we do have a strong Main Street, and everyone seems to think in Dunkirk Main Street is central. Now, representing the 4th Ward, Main Street is part of is at least half of it would be part of my district, and we've got, what other places in Fredonia do they have? CVS? Do they have Dollar Tree? Do they have Holy Wong? Do they have Dollar General? Do they have Aaron's? Do they have Mary's Deli? We have lots of businesses on Main Street. We just have to remember which is our Main Street.
Thank you. Our next question, why did taxes
I
go,
did.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
Are you rebutting?
No, I didn't answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please do.
Sorry about that. Whenever I run down to the pier, every single chance I get, which is almost every other day, I look at the water. That's something that if you're not from here, it's truly, it's remarkable. It looks like the ocean. And being from Texas, I know everyone's looking at me crazy. We don't have lakes. Well, we do have lakes, but you could see the other side of it. And when I brought my family here, my wife's from Forestville, came back home, that's one thing that scratched my head, because I see the opportunity, I see the potential. And when I see that, I know others see it. You have to bring them here.
Sorry about that, but thank you. Yeah, if it's a rebut.
I have to say that the waterfront, when I took a visit down there, it's a beautiful place to be. I even welcomed some of the people that were there and thanked them for coming, because the marketplace is an excellent place to be, and it's one of those things that we do have that we need to accentuate a lot more.
Thank you. Next question. Why did taxes go up 84%, and what's next? Ms. Luczkowiak.
Oh, well, they're not going up any percentage this year, I can tell you that. And the council, we're already connecting, we're already discussing, we're already making changes. But they went up because, there were a lot of reasons. There were outstanding debts we didn't know about, even though we asked a lot of questions in the past. We, of course, believed what they put in front of us. And so we had to pay off the debts.
Thank you. Mr. Frederickson.
First, I think This problem goes back a decade at least of financial mismanagement, on the parts of really everybody in office, from the mayors who put out budgets that had numbers that were, maybe not accurate, and a city council who apparently just signed off on them and said, yeah, they're good, and without doing due diligence to find out if the numbers were accurate or not.
Thank you. Mr. Garza.
Excuse me. I'm going back to what I said before. It was a reactive, not a proactive stance on the tax hike. So if it would have been increased maybe a decade ago, significantly, small, every single year, we might have not had that problem. But what's next is we have to figure out what leadership is doing here and how are they going to combat the tax increase, budget cuts, and everything that follows that.
Thank you. Mr. Torain.
Well, this goes back about 20 years. It goes all the way back to we stopped having tax increases. And then no tax increase since I can remember back to Mayor Frank era. So it goes way back with no tax increases. Then we lost NRG pilot money. And then we get to the COVID, and we had money that replaced the pilot money, and we lost that too. And in the meantime, there was no plan in place to try to replace those funds that were being lost. And so now we find ourselves here, and we have to have an 84% tax increase.
Thank you. Mr. Weiser.
30 seconds to answer a 30-year problem.
Yes, but
Mr. Torain.
makes you think that.
Mr. Torain hit the nail on the head with most everything he said in terms of not keeping pace in terms of tax increases, even with inflation. NRG closing without any real budgetary adjustment to account for that loss of about $2.5 million or more per year in tax revenue was incredibly significant. And we ran into issues that past budgets, audited financials illuminated that were delayed by COVID. So a lot of issues that were created by that.
Mr. Civiletto.
Biggest thing is no tax increases for the last 25 years. You have to be brave to be a politician, and politicians in the last 25 years, when you talk about tax increases, weren't, unless they could figure out a way to bring money into the town, into the city. We did have a mayor that used to go to Albany and bring money back a lot, but we haven't had that. But I don't believe that this was a financial mismanagement at all, as Mr. Frederickson has said.
Thank
I
you.
have to stop.
Can I
Yep. Yep.
Also, I don't believe it was solely a leadership issue. I believe it was because the council approves budgets, and they work together as a team. And when you talk about leadership, you're talking about the mayor's office. You're not, but the city council work as a team. So if you're talking about leadership as far as collective leadership, maybe that's the case. But you're also talking about not making decisions. This is not one person didn't have to make that decision. This was a collective not making that decision to raise taxes and look at the budget and make sure we're on track.
I have a rebuttal.
Sure.
Also, house assessments haven't been updated since the late 90s, so someone who is paying on a $50,000 assessment really can sell it for $100,000, so that is a problem as well. But I also wanted to say, during the last administration, I had so much done, and I never wanted to shade Mayor Rosas, because he was a great support, and I just got an insane amount of stuff done. But I'm having a hard time doing that.
Thank you. But,
Okay, to touch on what Mr. Civiletto said, the millions of dollars that came into Dunkirk in the past 8 or 10 years, and I'm looking around and I don't see where it went. I don't see any changes now from what there was 10 years ago. So millions of dollars came in, and I'm not sure where they went.
Am I allowed to rebut from that?
no, it's not rebuttal. It's all you get. You gotta get it right the first time. Okay. We're up all night. Last question before closing statements. How well is Dunkirk meeting the needs of low-income residents, and what more, if anything, needs to be done? We will begin with Mr. Frederickson.
I think Dunkirk is doing as well as it can for low income. Low income housing, I think, would make a difference a little bit if made it a little more affordable for lower income people to be able to live here. I think we need to do programs and projects that get lower income people, seniors, whoever, we need to get them out and around so they can see what we have to offer them here.
Thank you. Ms. Luczkowiak.
Yes, residents have been telling me about their rents. We need rents regulation. We need a sports complex for kids to do something during the winter.
Okay. Mr. Garza.
For low income, if we start eliminating youth and senior programs, YMCA, you name it, we all know what happens when that happens. People are gonna look the other way, and it's only gonna create bigger problems. So we need to focus on the community, how we get youth and seniors safely with activities and together, and just build a better community through that.
Mr. Torain.
First of all, I know from being the chairman of the Board of Commissioners of the Housing Authority, we do have a housing crisis, and we have a homelessness crisis. I've seen some of the villages that the homelessness people live in. So we do have a housing crisis. And one of the things that lead to that housing crisis is, the landlords that are not taking care of the places they're renting. And some of these places are atrocious that they're renting out. We need to take a hard look at that. And we need to take a hard look at the regulations that we're implementing to make sure that they improve the housing that we have. That's a short time.
Thank you. Mr. Weiser.
We're in a community with almost a 25% poverty rate, so this is a real significant issue. I believe we need to be really intentional about how we're creating opportunity and how we can create opportunity for low-income residents at a value. We need to look at resources to generate those types of opportunities, making sure that we have the support systems and services in place to be able to assist residents who fall in that particular category.
Mr. Civiletto.
Well, the first thing is my opponent has absolutely done nothing to help any of our low-income people, citizens. And let's talk about the lowest income people. That would be our seniors and our homeless. We need to work on the senior center. That is a great resource for our seniors. We need to work on senior housing. We need to find a homeless shelter, and the county needs to be held responsible for some of the things that they aren't doing, and we need an advocate to go from the city to the county to fight for this.
Thank you very much. We will now allow 1 minute for a concluding statement, and we will begin with Mr. Garza.
First of all, I just want to thank the community for all the support that I've received. Being here for the last few years, it means a lot to me. I'm a Texas boy that came up here, ran down the water, and fell in love with Dunkirk. That's the reason why I'm here. And I'm here with my wife and my son, and I just want to put my all into making this place a better place, and see what we can do here.
Thank you. Mr. Torain.
One of the things I've been hearing, and the reason why that I feel very passionate about running for city council, is I've been hearing people complain about the things that are going on in the city of Dunkirk in one fashion or another. But what I'm really hearing is that people have lost faith and belief in the city, in government here. And we need to restore faith in city government. And we do that by, one, let's take a look at our housing stock. Let's see what we can do about our housing stock. Let's see what we can do about those that are homeless. Let's see what we can do about accentuating the things that we already have here, and then showing people how to take advantage of the things that we already have here in the city.
Okay, Mr. Weiser, thank you.
Thank you. As we look ahead, I'm genuinely optimistic about Dunkirk's future. Yes, we face serious fiscal challenges, but we also have incredible strengths, a resilient community, dedicated public servants, and a shared determination to see our city thrive. Throughout my first term, I've worked hard to listen, to lead with integrity, and to make decisions rooted in the long-term well-being of our residents. I believe that effective leadership means balancing vision with practicality, seeing the opportunities in front of us while being honest about the work it takes to get there. I'm proud of the progress we've made, and I'm ready to keep building on that foundation. Together, I believe we can continue moving Dunkirk toward a more sustainable, vibrant, and united future. Thank you for your trust, your engagement, and for being part of the conversation about our city's future.
Thank you. Mr. Civiletto.
Well, I moved back here from Charlotte, North Carolina about 15 years ago. And for the last 15 years, I've done everything I can to put my heart and soul into Dunkirk and to help the citizens of Dunkirk and help move it forward. I promise you that I would keep doing that. I'm going to look at the big picture. I'm going to look at everything that we can do to help for the future of Dunkirk. And I see the potential in it. When I came back, I saw the potential in it, and I see it every single day.
Thank you. You guys are so trained to do 30 seconds, you're leaving
I know.
time. Ms. Luczkowiak.
Yes, thank you everyone for your support. I look forward to a brighter future. I am 100% sure we will get through our current issues. We have so much to do.
Not even 30 seconds. Mr. Frederickson, take your time.
Okay, first I want to thank the Dunkirk Democratic Committee for the endorsement for Third Ward Council. This is my first run at public office. I've been involved behind the scenes. I go to the council meetings. I've never had a problem expressing my opinions at those meetings. Couple things I think, in the spirit of cooperation, something Mr. Garza spoke on. I said a couple years ago, and I brought up the idea to planning and development about the idea of having a rec center in Dunkirk to bring out youth, young people, to get them in a safe place where they could they could participate in sports and activities, and bring the senior citizens out from other areas around the city so they get to meet people that they don't normally come in contact with. It's an idea that, like I said, I started bringing up a couple of years ago. Didn't get a lot of support so far from us. I'm hoping that maybe that will continue. And I think we need to just make Dunkirk look better. The housing, I think building codes needs to step up and start enforcing building codes.
Thank you. You got a little extra time.
Thanks, guys.
Voting is one of the simplest and most powerful ways we can take part in our democracy. When we vote, we're not just picking candidates, we're showing that we believe in the process and that every voice matters. So I hope you'll take the next step, go vote. Let's show that democracy is alive and well here in Chautauqua County and across New York State. A big thank you to the candidates to join us tonight. Not many usually want to take this dive. So thank you very much. And to Mary Croxton, Mary, for organizing the event. It's not an easy task. It's a terribly hard task trying to get the place, the time, the candidates. Jack Croxton, our timekeeper, with a kimosabi today. Steve Reese, and all the volunteers who helped out, and Janet is here, Pat Carell, Nancy. So thank you all for being here and taking part. Just a quick reminder, early voting starts this Saturday. So visit me at the fairgrounds. Different hours every day, but October 25th through November 2nd. Election Day is November 4th, with polls open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, that day. So we hope to see you at one of those places. Make sure you get your neighbors out to vote. Thank you for coming here. Good night.